Hello everyone, Kevin Eichhoff here from Kevin Eichhoff Ministries, and I'm continuing to answer some questions from a fellow subscriber. Today's question is, what did Neem Karoli Baba mean when he said, God does everything? Now, I don't know if that's out of context or not of what Neem Karoli Baba was referring to, and so I will answer this kind of this way. God is everything, and so there is that element, at least in every human being, God exists. There's that spark of God, that light of God, that light of nature. That lies within every single solitary person. And so God, as the creator, creates. That's what God does. He is the creator. He manifested everything. He brought forth everything. It's written that way in biblical books. In 7 days, what God created. These are all things that God has done and continues to do, because it's always in the now. It's not in the past. It's not in the future. It's in the present. In the present moment, God is everything. God does everything in the present moment. What man does in that present moment, a lot of times does not align with what God is or what God does. Because man has his own will and decides what he is going to do or not do, what is going to believe or not believe. So man puts his ego forward in a lot of the efforts that goes on. And so what Neem Karoli Baba is referring to here is God is not ego. God is not the sense organs. God is that consciousness that lies within, that is part of everything. When you take in a breath of air, you are breathing in God. When you exhale that, you are exhaling God. You are breathing in and you are breathing out God. You come into this world on a breath and you will leave this world on a breath. This is God. It is as simple as that. It is no more complex than that. But yet, we will make fundamental rules about all kinds of things. We'll create religions. We'll create rules. We'll create divisions. We'll create all kinds of things about what we truly think is God, when God is not a thought at all. What's the thought is when man was created by God. That was a thought of God. God said, let there be man, and man existed. Let there be light, and light existed. These come from God. Connecting to that is not always an easy process. And so we don't really want to go down the road where we think we want to be. We want to go down the road of where God is. And what Neem Karoli Baba was trying to say was, God is everything. God is all manifestation. And Neem Karoli Baba expressed God as that divine sound every moment that he lived, even when he spoke. Even when he spoke, he was still delivering that mantra-like sound of God all the time. And those who are devotees of Neem Karoli Baba know that that sound was Ram. He used the word Ram, and he Rammed all the time. And he Rammed even when he would be speaking to you, because it was still going on while he was speaking. It was a constant thing. It was always on his breath. He was constantly connected to the divinity and the divine sound. Constantly. There wasn't a moment in time that it did not exist. Microseconds. Constantly echoing the sound of Ram. And so this is where we want ourselves to go, in that we can connect to it that same similar way. Because Neem Karoli Baba was the example. Just like Buddha was the example. Just like Jesus was the example. They want you to follow their examples. They want you to learn from them being who they were and the example of that. And lots of the times we'll put our own interpretations into all of it instead of just looking and trying to be that example itself. And so I hope this gives you some idea of what Neem Karoli Baba was saying here, and that God is everything there is and God does everything. Because without God, you can't do anything. You wouldn't exist if it was not for God. And so without that divinity or divine element, you would cease to exist. You wouldn't even be here anymore. And so you need to go to that element of God. And this is what Neem Karoli Baba was saying. Don't go anywhere without that element of God in your suitcase, in your pocketbook, in your backpack. Do not go anywhere without that element of God, because God is all. God sees all, knows all, does all. And this is what Neem Karoli Baba is referring to. God is all. God is all. God is everything. He is the entire universe itself. He is the supreme being. God is all. And he does all. And he does all for his creation. And we are part of that creation, but somehow we seem to separate ourselves from that through our will and choose to do something different, to choose our ego over it. We choose our ego over God every single solitary day. And the more we can get away from that ego sense and move directly to the divinity is the best way to go. And hopefully this answers some of that question of God in relationship to our own selves. Because there is no real separation. That's the real truth here. The only separation is the separation that you create in your thoughts and in your mind and with others. And I hate to say it, but often religion even separates us further, because religion creates divisions in the mind. And spirituality brings us closer because we get to experience it. And what I'm saying to you is experience these things. Don't just believe these things. Just don't decide, okay, I'm going to believe this and I'm not going to believe that. No, experience it. Once you experience it, you don't need to have a belief system. You've experienced it. You know what the difference is between A and B. And so hopefully that helps you understand some of this and some of what Neem Karoli Baba is trying to say about God. But always, always love all, serve all. And with that being said, Jai Bhagwan, Namaste. May you see the light within yourself and within all others.